going to live stream. We are rolling. Welcome to Witchy Talk. We are here. So yeah, welcome to episode 15. Episode 15 of Witchy
On
Talk.
the 15th here. Cheers.
It always seems to work out that way. So yeah, Nicola coming in from the southern skies of Aotearoa, coming in from a bit of a stormy day here, pretty chilly, horrific rain and wind, and not summer at the moment today. So I'm here with my blanket and my slippers and my winter things on. So bringing in the chilly, southerly, cold vibes into witchy talk. So yes.
Nice. I
Uh,
dig it, man. Cozying up with a cup of tea
yeah,
and my Manuka honey all the way from New Zealand.
yeah, that's so cool.
Heck yeah. So bringing in some of that NZ all the way to the AZ and cheers, my friend.
Yeah. It's like sun in a tub, isn't it? The honey. I've got some little honey jars here that
It's so tasty.
it's like sun in a jar because they collect it from the flowers that are absorbing in all the sun. And so it's like eating sunshine.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. That's pretty magical, actually.
Mm,
I've got New Zealand honey, and I'm sending you some sunshine
yeah.
from the sunny state of Arizona.
And from winter.
Yeah, yeah. It's been really interesting. So we are like in the dead of winter here, and our winters can be pretty chilly in the desert Southwest. I
Mm,
mean, like just bare bone chilling cold. Um, but we've had these heat spikes. We've had heat spikes where it's been like the evenings right now, 40s, 50s.
mm,
The other day was like in the 80s,
mm,
which was really, really interesting. That it should be winter. And you're in summer, right? And it's
mm.
chilly.
And it's cold. It's really cold. It's really cold, and the storm just rolled through and just howling, blustery wind and took down trees, and there's flooding, and people's homes are compromised and have water all through them.
Hmm.
And so yeah, it's really quite devastating and yeah, so I feel really grateful that our home is okay, and we just had a couple of branches off some trees that fell, and yeah, the home was okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thankful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sending love to everybody in your community, man. It's crazy sometimes how the storms just roll through, huh? Yeah,
Totally.
even when you feel you may expect them, or they just come out like that, and you're like, you got to learn how to roll with it and
Yeah.
improvise. But
Mm.
still, power outages too. I was reading, right? You guys had some power
Yeah.
outages.
Yeah, we had our power. Our power went out last night just as I was going off to sleep, went out and yeah, came back on at like 3 a.m. and then kind of went out again, and then this morning it was still out. Then it came back on. Was on
Hmm.
for like a minute and then it went back out. So it's just been like on and off constantly, but it's been on now, for the last 5 hours or something like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, from about them just after the early afternoon all the way through, it's been stabilized and the wind has dropped off. And yeah, but there are some places that will be without power for a few days, if they're not part of
Wow.
if they're on their own, if they're on their own grid, or they've got their own, yeah, if they're not part of the main network, then yeah, like rural areas and will take a bit longer to get back up online. So,
Hmm.
else. So yeah. Mm-mm-mm.
Hmm.
Something else. It's pretty
Well,
crazy.
cheers to, yeah, I can just imagine. I mean, definitely the storms of life. We've had a lot of flooding this year.
Mm.
which
mm,
was kind of devastating because we're in a drought and we definitely need the water.
mm,
Um, but the dirt here, the earth is so hard. It's like
mm,
almost like clay,
mm,
and the water doesn't really absorb into it.
mm,
So we've had flooding, a lot of loss of homes and businesses and historic buildings and whatnot. So it's kind of devastating to see that. Um,
mm,
and it cycles because the last big floods we had were like 40 years ago and then 30 years ago.
mm,
And it was interesting because I was reflecting on the first time I had experienced that. I was a young girl.
mm,
And it's kind of wild. I don't know if I shared this story with you, but I was dreaming of spending time with my grandfather, who I love dearly, and
mm,
recently celebrated his birthday, and he's passed, and it's been some time. But I was reflecting on that memory of when it had flooded, and
mm,
I was maybe like 4, 5 years old,
mm, mm.
and he had this big Lincoln Continental car.
Oh,
And I
cool.
remember being on the backside of the highway. We were kind of just, we'd cruise around, and um, I thought it was like chocolate milk, like Candyland, like Willy
Yeah.
Wonka. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, man, but this is pretty cool. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, this is like chocolate river, you know? So I'm just riding in the back of this car, and he's just like cool, calm. And then finally it got to the point where the water was getting up past the windows.
Mm,
And
mm,
he's like, okay, he's like, okay, Mija, my daughter. He's like, we got to get out, we got to get out and, make our way to land.
mm.
And I guess it probably should have been scary to some, you know, because there was water all around me and I can't swim, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. It's just cool, man. I'm in Candyland, floating along. And yeah, so it was one of those moments that maybe could be terrifying or scary. And for some, I know it can be devastating. Don't get me
Mm,
wrong. But,
mm, mm.
he was able to keep his cool and calm through it. And that helped me to stay cool and calm through it.
Yeah.
Um, but I can't forget that visual, and that experience, even it being so long ago.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm reminded in these storms of life and these deserts of life, and when the weather comes through, unexpected or not, is trying to remain calm, and um, get through it, you
Mm,
know,
mm, mm,
you
mm.
know.
Yeah.
And so it's been quite the ride, and quite the ride lately. So much going on,
Mm.
so
There's so
much
much
going
energy to
on.
fling. Yeah.
Seriously, right?
Yeah. There really.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I can't quite put my finger on as to like, okay, so the up and downs in the sense of what I'm feeling is like a lot of the fire coming through, right? We are moving into this fire horse energy, right? Literally
Mm,
here, like within the next 2 days here, it's happening.
mm, mm.
And um we have a new moon we're rolling into. We've got a solar eclipse,
Yeah.
and it's just been kind of, I guess, a push and pull I'm feeling where
Mm.
I think I've been processing so much, like physically. It's affected me physically in my body where I just want to rest,
Mm. Oh, big
which
time.
is,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
it's so different for me, Nicola, because usually I'm like on the go,
Yeah.
but it's been the first time in a long time that I've actually allowed myself just the time to rest.
Mm.
Um, and I'm still indifferent about it, but it's like
Mm.
I know my body needs it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because it's like I'm feeling enthusiastic. I'm feeling like, okay, the passion and the inspiration, but it's like, okay, Sophie,
Mm.
just lay back, put your feet up and rest, and that's okay. Um, and I think sometimes I tend to forget. Like if I'm processing so much spiritually, emotionally, like a lot of transitions, that it does affect you physically.
Mm. Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a shift like a few weeks ago where I was like rest. It was like popped into my head, I think, as I was having a nap, was like rest is productive. Like I
Hmm.
like to think of it in that way, like to rest and allow yourself that time to actually properly nap and be at rest. You know, sometimes we're like, oh, I'm totally resting because I'm lying down, but then we're still like doing so much, like on the phone or reading a book, or still trying to be productive or whatever. And it's like actually just like properly resting and having a nap is productive. So yeah, that kind of dropped in into like reframe it that way that I'm like was laying there and I was like, I'm being so productive right now. And I was like snuggling into my pillow, like having like my favorite like afternoon nap, blissing out with the sun. This was a couple of weeks ago. So the sun was coming in and it was like nice and cool in my room and it was hot outside. And I was like, ah, I'm being so productive right now.
That's freaking awesome.
I love that, eh?
With
Because
a
the
smile
energy,
too.
yeah, totally. And because the energies are really like heightened and there's a lot of shifting. And, you know, before we got on, we were talking about like our bodies being really sore and like feeling like we need to like actually physically rest our bodies a lot. And I've been doing a lot of physical work, like gardening and stuff, which was quite hectic and quite labor intensive. And that was really what was had my body tired, but I think that was like on top of like
Right.
actually already needing to like physically rest my body and you know becoming more aware of like the fascia and that part of the body and the lymphatic drainage system and you know like not really being aware of those like for my whole life until just like you know the last
Yeah.
few months really like
Yeah.
understanding more about what that is and you know, like the shedding of the this last part of the snake for the tail end of the ear of the snake. And the I was someone said to me, or I was listening to something that someone said that the the tightest layer, you know, of the metamorphosis or you know whatever you want to look at it as like the year of the snake or whatever this you know, tightest layer that needs to be shed is more often than not going to be like pre-cognitive and pre-verbal. So something from when you were really little. And I
Wow.
was like feeling into what that was and then feeling that those aspects of the fascia being really tight or like my muscles being so tight in certain areas is that you know and my thought process was is that because that's the tightest layer that is related to whatever's precognitive or pre-verbal because I just become aware of that and then I was becoming more aware of
Wow.
that and so I was like putting it together and was like have I learnt this because it's trying to tell me that you know these areas of my body that are really tight which is actually my hands
Yeah.
uh, forearms, which is like holding on too tightly. I mean, I was gardening, I was doing a lot of friggin' hedge trimming and
Yeah.
electronic like hedge trimmer and you know, the ones that you Edward Scissorhand, you know, hedge trimming and stuff. But so my arms were friggin' so sore from that. But aside from that, they're usually really tight. Like I have like no flexibility like in my hands. That's just like
Oh.
standard. Like they just don't go back. Really tight and you know my hips and so anyway, I was kind of like feeling into you know what is this deep layer that wants to shift for the year of the horse coming in and I was feeling into like well if it's like trying to hold on really tight but then to be on the back of a horse that's fucking firing up and galloping, you got to hold on really tight to that
Yeah.
as well. So it was like, well, what's the transition of like holding on really tight to something too much that is restrictive versus
Yeah, right.
being on the back of the horse and being in control. Um,
Mm,
and if you've got control of a horse that's galloping, you're not necessarily holding on for dear life. You know,
yeah,
you've got the confidence and
for sure.
like came through with the Shadow Alchemy series that I did is like trusting in your own forward momentum and like not needing to just like hold on to everything so tightly. And so part of that relaxing was like I felt like I couldn't even my body was so sore that I couldn't even relax or nap properly because I was just constantly so uncomfortable because my
Yeah,
body was tight. It's gotten better now, like yeah, can have
yeah,
a nap again and it's fine.
yeah.
Just at this period of time where there was that tightness. Yeah,
Yeah, I do know. Actually, I've been thinking a lot about that myself.
of course.
Yeah, and specifically with the hands. I wasn't doing so much physical work in the garden. But I've had multiple surgeries and nerve damage and stuff on my hands. So I've realized how important it is for me to work on hand movements and
Mm,
keeping this moving. And um, I was actually doing some exercises. And one thing that came up in the exercises was like, you remember to breathe, right? Like hand movement. Because when you're not breathing, it essentially is causing a tension.
mm. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's that restrictiveness or constriction,
Mm,
right? Um, I was thinking about that today as I was fixing some tea,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
so I've been mindful as to how I can incorporate things into my practice that will just reconnect,
Mm,
or I can reconnect with myself in different ways. And
mm,
part of that is my breathing and being conscious and kind of tuning into my breath. And so, with like yoga,
mm,
stretching, and breathing, has really helped me to connect back with different areas of myself that I wouldn't say have been on the back shelf, but
mm,
because I'm so like physical and on the move and go,
mm,
it has really essentially forced me to slow down in that aspect and
mm,
allow myself to take that time for me to connect with my breath and my being. And so it's been a big, it's been different. It's
mm,
been different, but I do believe that everything comes in its time. And so
mm,
it's been exciting to connect to myself again, I guess, because we
mm,
forget about that. And so
mm,
um, with that final shed you had mentioned, and the last couple weeks, it's been very interesting encounters and just things in passing and things shared, and then feeling like my body just physically needed the rest. And
mm,
I've been doing work with reptiles, and so it's really interesting. I actually really enjoy watching them when they're going through the shed process,
yeah, cool.
because their eyes, they become real hazy and almost like opal like. So essentially, it's like I'm blindly going into this shed. It makes them very vulnerable, where they
Mm,
may be more apt to strike or whatnot, in the sense of I can't see anything, but I just have to trust
yeah. Wow.
that my muscles and my body are pushing my way out of this. And for growth and expansion and all that good stuff. But literally, it's like I can't fit in this skin, right? But
Yeah.
under that skin, you have another layer of skin that
Mm,
you've already had there and are ready to, I
mm,
guess, be born into or grow into or
mm,
fill that space.
mm, mm,
But it's really interesting. And I think it's really beautiful when I when I see a snake shed and like they've done like a really nice shed where it's like just the whole complete thing, and it's like,
Yeah.
ooh,
Smooth.
that was smooth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but then there's those instances where I'll see like little flakes, right? Or little patches of skin and I'm like, dude, are you struggling? Let me give you a little bit of humidity here. Let me change the weather up a little bit for you because it has to have the right climate to have that smooth shed.
Oh, I didn't
It
know
has
that.
to have, yeah, the right amount of
Wow.
humidity for it to, otherwise it'll be like patchy little pieces. So sometimes I'll see like, oh, there's little pieces. Are you doing all right, bud? Or,
Mm,
when you see them get the full shed and you're like, wow, you look so beautiful, man, and stunning and so vivid and crisp. So
cool. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I think that's part of we were talking last time about the exfoliation, those little rough patches we still have yet to clean up and exfoliate, right? And
Oh, right.
um yeah, what's really cool too is when you're going through a shed, it actually removes parasites as well. So,
Really?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like so significant, like anything that's been draining me down or literally like trying to suck the life out of me, like,
Yeah.
is being like processed and pushed away and off
Yeah.
of me,
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
Mm,
um it's all significant. I've been doing little things to really incorporate that self-love too, and like
mm,
things that I enjoy, like a cup of tea. I've been making my own hummus and dips with veggies, and because I
mm,
love I love garlic and a lot of that, so I'm just like, oh my gosh, just doing it up.
mm.
um Soaps, I'm really into soaps.
Cool.
And
Getting
I've picked up,
creative.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah, the essential oils, and just really just bringing that in, in those moments that I can. If
yeah.
it's in the shower, then this is my self-care time to just lather on up and
Yeah.
smell good and feel good,
Yeah.
and you know
And get the
um
humidity in the shower so that the exfoliation, right? That's so fascinating
absolutely,
to me that's why the
yeah,
snakes get a good shed on or not is because of the humidity. So yeah, the conditions are right, right? Mm,
having the right conditions, right? And so when I think about things that maybe I've been carrying, or traumas or instances or fears or whatever I'm working through, it's like, am I setting up the right condition?
mm,
Whether that's through how I'm feeling, am I taking care of my body, my mind, my spirit, to allow myself to fully let go,
mm.
like cleanly, smoothly operational.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there might be like, oh, those instances where I've hit a road bump. Oh, I see a little piece of skin there that, I mean,
Totally. I think those
yeah,
conditions can also be like all the astrological aspects, like I mean, it's a wood snake, but then the fire horse coming in, like that, yeah, like that fire energy coming in to, turn up the heat.
for
Um,
sure.
to allow that, shedding. And maybe it is going to be more of a brittle shedding because the wood snake and the fire horse, there's no water aspect in there. So maybe like we're all going through this kind of like fractured shedding because of the dynamic that's happening at the moment.
Oh,
So it's like not a smooth shed, essentially. Maybe that's, I don't know, part of, what's
no,
happening as well. Like it's quite like jolting, like, we're like, okay, I'm letting go of this over here and I feel pretty good. And then all this other things coming up, and what are the aspects of, what do we want to practically look at for ourselves? And then what naturally comes up to be like, yeah, you need to look at me, like um the
yeah,
aspects of like clearing things out, for allowing the momentum to come in. Like I was reading something that said about getting rid of all your old shoes and shoes that you don't like to wear, because the fire horse energy is about, how you want to move through the world. And so, what are you moving through the world by putting on your feet? Like, are you putting on shoes that are uncomfortable, or, really old, or, got holes in them, or have you just got, wardrobe full of shoes that you don't actually like? And sort of get rid of it all, the feng shui aspects of it. And then getting rid of the clothing, like it's like a clearing of, so you can allow those energies to come in, clearing out your emails, your inbox, your storage, books, anything old that's around that you're no longer, needing or using, or that feels like it weighs you down. Then to, like, spring clean, get rid of those, essentially have that kind of spring clean energy that you would normally do at that time of year, but do it now, to do it when this energy is shifting and transitioning. So you can, like, you're actually like priming your physical. So when you get rid of those things, then really you can allow other aspects of
Mm,
internal things to come up and shed, because you're like, you might get rid of those things, and then you might then afterwards have like an emotional release, because you don't realize you're holding on to all those things because you
for
didn't
sure.
value your own, forward momentum, or you didn't value your own, like, appearance, or your
Oh
own
wow.
space enough to, like, hold on to things unnecessarily, or whatever. But it might have like an
Yeah.
aspect that, that happens after the fact. You actually get rid of stuff, and you don't really realize why we hold on to all these things, until we actually get rid of them. And then different, you know, aspects can come up.
That is
Yeah.
so deep. That is so deep, man.
So yeah, and then
Wow.
we've got, so I think that, like the climate for shedding is astrological, like the humidity, whether or not planets in our chart are in retrograde, or they're stationing direct. If things are in retrograde, then, like, maybe it's like pulling stuff off us, or pulling things out of us. And then when things they go direct, then it's like, oh, okay, now I can get forward momentum again. Like, so, these aspects of retrograde and going direct, I don't know enough about it all to talk into it deeper than that, but to
Right.
look at what's happening,
Hmm.
to do with the to do with your own personal chart. Like, I've just got a new folder for all the
Okay.
stuff to do with me, to just have it a little bit more organized and stuff. So, like, for
Beautiful.
example, Uranus just went into sorry, Neptune just went into Aries, and now Saturn is preparing to go into Aries. So you want to look in your chart and see what's Saturn and what's Neptune doing in your chart to do with Aries, and what planets do you have in Aries, so that you can be prepared. And I actually don't have anything in Aries. Um, but the house that Aries governs for me is sacrifice, which is the 12th house, which is just before, the first house. So it's the end of the cycle for me. So it's sacrifice. So
Oh,
what do I need to sacrifice to feel into the Aries energy that we're moving into? Because this Neptune and Saturn conjunct in Aries is happening. But then in April, we have from the 16th to 22nd, or around about then, there's going to be like 7 planets in Aries. So it's like, how are we, like, allowing this Aries energy to kind of shift for us? And what's happening at the moment with Neptune and Saturn conjunct in Aries, they're actually at 0 degrees. So it's like the start of a new aspect of forward momentum, and of um
wow.
of our own of our own integrated identity. Like, there's been, like, so much of, like, collective, like the internet, like,
For sure.
social media, everything's like, you feel like you're outstretched and everything. And this is now
Yeah.
about, like, actually, I'm sovereign in my being, and
Right.
I actually, this is like the start of a new aspect of being integrated in your identity of who you are and how you interact with the world. And so those aspects, I don't know about the rest of the planets and how they line up with their degrees, but Neptune and Saturn being at that aspect is signifying like that big change, and that Saturn is the master or the teacher, that's that Saturn return that we experience when we turn 29, 30, when we're like, it's a life review, it's like that mini midlife
For
crisis that happens.
for sure.
So that's
No,
like
I
feeling that energy coming up again,
it's pretty magical, man, when you think about it. I mean,
Mm,
you think about I just see all the love and support we have during this time with all of these aspects going on with
mm,
that final shed. And I'm in my magical space here,
yeah.
and it's been kind of a work in motion. But what's interesting is I've noticed like throughout the year how I've just been kind of moving and shifting stuff around, like trying to feel like what's going to work, what feels right, like having my magic space or having my reading space. And I feel like it didn't quite fit right, but now it's like I feel it's flowing into place with what I need for right now.
Mm,
And I have a shelf with like books that are not serving me and a pile here of like clothing, and it's like the final push. And
mm,
as I was going through this, it was those moments of reflection, like, why did I hold on to this? What does this signify to me? What
mm,
am I afraid to let go of,
mm,
right? And why is that? And really going to the root sources of that to know that it was like that final clearing out, right?
mm,
To move into a new space and time. And
mm,
um I was reading earlier, this is on yogajournal.com. It's a pretty cool article, but it was sharing some of the weekly aspects we have going on right now. So um I'm celebrating the 15th of February, the 16th. So the sun is squaring Uranus.
mm,
The 17th, we'll have a solar eclipse in Aquarius.
mm,
The 18th, we'll have the sun enter Pisces.
mm,
And the 20th, we're going to have Saturn conjunct with Neptune.
mm.
So it's a really great article. I can share the link later, yogajournal.com. So essentially, from what I gather, the sun itself is rep the sun represents the self.
Yeah.
Um, the star mirrors back to us lifelong process of becoming the truth of who we are.
Mm,
So Uranus is a change-filled and innovative outer planet, ultimately wanting the same thing.
mm,
Um, and it does so by holding us in our authenticity and individuality,
mm,
as
mm,
far as liberating us from patterns and ways that we've learned or taken on and misidentified as ourselves.
mm,
So, so essentially, we're being supported to find a place where this can align, where we can experience uh, evolution, transformation, liberation, and step into our authenticity.
mm, mm.
So I mean, it's just support all around. Um, in addition to an eclipse.
Yeah.
So an eclipse heightening all of that, which basically is just giving us the support to step into our intuition and really move through and
Mm,
shed this final clearing so we can just embrace and get back on the horse,
yeah. Yeah.
um yeah, I mean, it is just so wild. The
Mm,
sun entering Pisces, which is basically the final sign of the zodiac,
mm,
right?
mm,
um so Pisces is where we meet closure, release, surrender, healing,
mhm,
but it's also like the realm of the sacred, creativity, and imagination. So it's like, for me, feeling that push and pull of like, I feel so inspired and motivated and enthusiastic, and creativity's been sparking, and I'm tuning back in with my musical instruments and my writing and my canvas. And it's like I feel that, but I'm just not there yet. It's like this
Mm,
final, literally clearing out. I've got this small pile in front of me, like it's like, okay, that final push, to box it up so I
mm,
can move forward.
yeah.
um Saturn conjunct with Neptune, Nicola.
Mm,
Um, so you were mentioning Aries. So Neptune entered Aries right in January,
mm.
which begins a 14-year chapter of the sign and a new 165-year cycle.
It's pretty
Yes,
hectic.
both beginning a 2.5-year chapter and a 29-year cycle,
Mm, mm,
which is so interesting in itself. These numbers that have been popping up, and a lot of stuff that
mm,
has closed has been like 29 years, like
mm.
literally, like work, like it's like this is just fucking mind-blowing wild,
Yeah.
um yeah. So I mean, I think it's beautiful that we can, and I'll share this. It's a pretty great article. It's just like bullet pointing. And then it'll kind of break it down as to like
Mm,
what zodiac you are and how it may be affecting you, which I thought was spot on. Me being a Cancer and then Leo rising, and it's just basically like for me, pushing me to new perspectives, expanding my thinking, expression, connecting, direction.
mm,
um it's beautiful. It really is beautiful, and I think that's so what's so wonderful. Despite everything and those storms that come rolling in, if we can connect to what is around us and
mm,
step within us to utilize all of this support and tools that we have,
mm, mm, mm,
um the fire horse. So even, I'm not as familiar with the Chinese zodiac, but the year of the fire horse, from what I understand, is a pretty remarkable event
mm,
in the Chinese zodiac. So the zodiac cycles every 12 years. The fire horse appears just once every 60 years.
mm,
So from what I was reading, it makes it especially rare. The year is celebrated for a dynamic energy,
mm.
symbolizing passion, change, and transformation. And I pulled up some pretty interesting facts that I thought were kind of, I went back 60 years to like 1966, right?
Oh, yeah, cool.
And so, um, I'm in the States, so we've had a lot of really crazy, wild stuff going on, not to politicize shit, but we've had some pretty wild shit going on here. I'll just say it like that.
Yeah.
Um, but 1966, um, so so society race riots were occurring through the states, Chicago, Michigan. Um, the economy was strong, but showing signs of inflation, which is what we've dealt with recently.
Mm,
Um, Ronald Reagan was elected the governor of California. NASA completed the Gemini program and launched the Lunar Orbiter 1. So it's the first American spacecraft to orbit the moon,
mm,
right? So
mm.
designed to, take pictures of the lunar surface. And
Yeah.
um, the first ATM was introduced.
Oh, wow.
Star Trek debuted on NBC
Mm,
1960. Um, and the Beatles. I was listening to the Beatles today. The Revolver
cool.
album came
Yeah,
out. Had
cool.
Yellow Submarine, Eleanor Rigby, Got to Get You Into My Life. Tomorrow Never Knows. That song
Mm,
is, I mean, I was just like, oh my gosh, I got to listen to this. And what I found, that was their last ticketed concert.
Oh, really?
That was their
Oh,
last ticketed concert they played in San Francisco. And then it was 3 years later in '69, they played on the rooftop at Apple in London. And they ended their touring, their shows then.
oh, wow.
Yeah, with the song Get Back.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, that's pretty wild, man. 60 freaking years.
Wow.
Uh in East Asia, right? The fire horse years, every 60 years, which is probably going to happen once in our lifetime, right?
Mm, mm,
I mean,
mm.
let's get real.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to live to be 120 or
No.
whatever, 100 years old.
Yeah.
So, thinking about that, that's pretty freaking wild. Okay, so the fire horse years are seen as both auspicious and challenging, bringing transformative opportunities.
Mm,
It is believed to bring about major changes that break old patterns and inspire new growth.
mm, mm, mm,
It represents unstoppable energy,
mm.
amplifies the horse's natural vitality, leading to boldness, ambition, and a drive for progress. Horses in general represent strength,
Mm,
freedom, and spirited perseverance.
mm.
And the element of fire magnifies these qualities to ignite their brilliance to new heights.
Yeah,
So I
beautiful.
really like what you shared about allowing ourselves that time to rest, right? I
Mm,
am being
mm.
productive.
Yeah, rest is productive.
Yeah, I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready for a gallop,
Yeah,
man.
totally. The other thing about the horse is that the horse's heart magnifies, like our hearts have a magnification of like 6 meters around us or something, but then a horse's heart magnifies like 20 times that or something. Like it's massive, the magnetic field that a horse's heart has. So feeling that with the fire, like the fire is purification, but it's also passion. Like it's what we've done a lot of shedding with the snake already. Like the idea with the fire horse is that it's not got to do with purification. It's actually like igniting your
Yeah.
passion. Like what is the forward momentum the horse is bringing with the fire, and yeah, interesting you said about that 60-year cycle. So when I was doing my Shadow Alchemy series with the Neptune transiting into Aries, yeah, I looked up that 164-year cycle. So that goes back to 1861. That goes back
What?
to. So do you want to know what was happening in
I do. I
1861?
really do. Come on, girl. Bring it.
The outbreak of the
Eight.
American Civil War. Yeah, the unification of Italy. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff. I mean, the site that I've just looked up is very American based, but yeah, like the fact that well, Abraham Lincoln is sworn as the 16th president of the United States. Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
I'm just looking at whatever else there was that isn't, it's different stuff. Yeah, like that is like, yeah, like that revolutionary
For
aspect.
sure. For
That
sure.
um December. Mm. So yeah, that's pretty potent energy to be bringing in
For
through
sure.
that
I mean,
same aspect.
even going to the 60 years and then you take it back that far and it's that
Yeah.
same cycle of stuff
Mm.
going on, that same energy, right?
Yeah, these are all American that I'm clicking into. Here we go, 1861 in New Zealand. What happened in here in New
All
Zealand?
right.
Oh, the onset of the Otago gold rush. So, on the news last night, they were talking about people quitting their jobs and going and looking for gold here again. So that is amazing.
What?
What the hell? What the hell? Prosperity comes to the South with the onset of the Otago gold rush. Within the year of the population of the gold fields is twice that of previous years. So yeah, like literally
Wow.
last night they had a thing on,
Wow.
after the news about that people are going in and staking up in areas and looking for gold because I think they said an ounce of gold you can get $8,000. Eight
What?
or 8,000. I think that's what they said on last night. An
In
ounce
New
of gold.
Zealand or
Yeah.
just in
I
general?
think that's in general, like that's the global price of
Oh,
gold.
wow.
So for an ounce of gold, you can get $8,000. I'm pretty sure it was. Don't quote me on that, but it was something like I was like, really? Okay, where do I go? I know. Um, that's
It's
just
time for me to get that ticket, Nicola.
that is crazy that that is literally what was on the. Well, it's not really, is it? Like that is just shows the yeah, the cycles that we go through.
So it makes me think too, it's like how things have recycled and resurfaced,
Yeah.
right? Like even after that, like does time know,
Yeah.
right?
Just yeah.
I mean, it's too much of a coincidence. I mean, when I think about like what has happened here this last fire horse 60 years ago with a lot of the race riots and the revolutionary stuff and the things that are literally going on around me, it's
Mm,
hard to ignore the fact that this just it's
mm,
just too much to be coincidence,
mm.
right?
Oh yeah, way
It's
too
definitely
much.
something that brings that, but now it's even heightened with everything going on in the astro. It's like, whoa, and then we talk about a planetary alignment coming in at the end of this month as well.
Yeah, it's like six planets all alignment on the 28th, is it? Like the 28th or the 29th. Yeah.
Hold
So
on.
yeah, I think Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. So there must be aligning in Aries then, because if Neptune and Saturn are in Aries, then the others must be coming into alignment with Aries as well. And because, yeah, then in April, you've got like the sun is included in that and a couple of other, I need to write a list there of what the other planets are for that alignment. Yeah, so that's going to be crazy. More of them will be visible with the naked eye. So,
Is that right?
yeah, that's going to look cool in the sky, isn't it? Yeah.
For sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've got a miniature telescope that was gifted to me. I don't know if I told you that a few months back.
No, you didn't say. Yeah, that's exciting. Cool.
Yeah, yeah, I've been wanting one for some time, and we do a lot of like the night hiking, and we're out at night, and I've noticed on the last couple of hikes how um, Jupiter's been really clear, and there's been a lot of stars and planets that are really clear to the naked eye, and I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be freaking awesome.
Mm.
But yeah, I was out traveling and had planned a trip to, I think I told you, I was planning to go to the Petrified Forest,
Yes,
and there was a
that's right.
government shutdown. We got there like to the entry, but we couldn't get in.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, so I just got to roll with it. And I just cruising around and I found a bunch of cool stuff around there, like dinosaurs and big pieces of petrified wood and fossils. And
Yeah.
um, I ended up in this space, and they had a huge telescope set up where they
Amazing.
were doing a viewing that night,
Yeah.
and they had like these professors and stuff speaking about it, and I was like, okay, it didn't quite work out over there, but this is pretty awesome. And yeah, I met a husband and wife, and they do that. They do programs where they go out like into communities and share stuff like that. So we were just sharing stories. And the young lady came to me. She's like, I would like to gift you this. And she was just like, oh, we had like some things left over from raffles or what. And it was like a little tabletop telescope. She's like, it's a good starter. I'm like, oh man, so fit perfect in my camping stuff to get out and what. She's like, I know you'll put it to good use. And I'm like, That's freaking awesome, dude. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, so reminds me too to keep looking up, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
keep looking up and keep looking beyond. And um, I think when I'm out looking at the stars and just taking the moment to view the constellations, the planets, and everything around me, it reminds me like
Mm.
how really small I am in such the grand scheme of things, and like all these problems and these worries are really this small in such a big universe. And
So
um
significant, right? Yeah.
yeah. I think it's important to just keep looking up.
Yeah.
You know?
Perspective, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. But yeah, I'm stoked, and it's I think um for me it's been really just wanting to find those moments in between and be okay with it, like where I need the rest and I know I'm doing my best, with where I'm at with where I am,
Yeah.
in the journey and knowing that
Mm.
um it's okay to take those moments. I'm gonna remember that I'm being productive.
Yeah.
um
My rest is productive. Totally. Totally. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm feeling that I think there's a lot of people out there that, finding the energy is just really challenging, you know. Last
Mm,
week there were 2 consecutive days where I was working in the shop that I work in, and there were just like hectic, like
yeah.
unhinged, like wild, like paranoia induced people that were coming in just like freaking out, like having a breakdown and fully
Wow.
needing support. I mean, one guy I couldn't support because he was like way too unhinged and just being so wild. Like I just actually just had to get him to leave the shop because he was just like and just hurt so much, disassociated paranoia about what's happening, around, whether or not it was drug induced or not. But so that was quite, just regulating. I think I was
Mm.
okay with it, but I don't know if my workmate felt a little bit like freaked out about what was happening. Um, and then the next day, there was a woman that came into working in, the same business but a different shop and working there. And yeah, this woman came in. I could hear her in the shop, kind of being quite erratic. And then when I came out, she'd left, but she'd left some bags at the shop for us to look after, like her, like, she'd packed stuff up and there were packed bags there. And anyway,
Hmm.
I had a reading that I had done for someone, and then I went out for lunch. And then when I came back from lunch and was just sitting on my laptop in the back room, I could hear her in the shop again, and she was just like being wild. Like I feel like I'm being attacked by energy. Like I just have energy attacking me and I just don't know what to do. And just like she was just like really, yeah, really quite
Oh my.
fractured.
Wow.
A lot of people that are really like quite fractured in their personalities. And she ended up just being like, I can't handle it. And she just actually sat on the floor in front of the counter and just like kind of like semi collapsed and semi put herself down there. And I was like, okay,
Mm.
I need to do something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I crouched down next to her and like talked her through some breathing and grounded her back down. And she just said, I'm just everything's attacking me. And
Mm.
I was like, do you want to come into the room and I can do an energy clearing for you. And so I've got my shikapa, which is like made out of bamboo leaves. And so I was
Yeah.
like clearing her energy and put my hand over her crown, and her crown chakra was so hot. The whole top of her head was so hot. And I'm like, you're so
Mm.
open up here and not grounded in your body, that just like all these psychic attacks and energetic attacks coming at her. that just because the energies that we're in are like feel like they're splitting people off, and the people that don't know how to regulate themselves in this faster energy are gonna get really like propelled in a fast way
Yeah.
into disassociated, fractured, not able to cope, and kind of
Mm,
being really scattered, right? So yeah, I managed to like calm her down and get her in her body more and ground her. I was like, you need to spend the rest of the day like walking around on the grass, like
for sure.
take your shoes off
Oh
and
yeah.
be in your backyard. And just it was a nice day at this point. The shitty weather hadn't rolled in yet, and I was like, you just need to be just feet, just walk around for the rest of the day bare feet. So I think that these energies, for people who don't know, understand what's happening, or just like, yeah, like, I mean, you could still understand what's happening and still be dysregulated. And I think not understanding, the astrological dynamics, or, everything that's happening doesn't mean that you're going to be regulated in it. Just because you understand it, you could still be, fractured and
For sure.
dysregulated. So it's like, what are your practices is now more important than ever to like know how to ground yourself properly and
Mm,
close down your crown chakra and close down your chakras when you're like out and about with people, or if you feel like you're being attacked. Like, you need to know how to like set your energetic space and do your
for
energetic
sure.
hygiene and like protect yourself and ground your energy and anchor your, you know cultivate your auric field so it's, protective rather than just like letting anything in. So yeah, that was quite intense to be like 2 days in a row. Um, and I kind of realized that I'd kind of like offhand, offhand in my mind, just kind of had the thought, I want to help people that are kind of plagued by like these. I didn't use the word plagued, when I had this thought, but I want to help people that have trouble with, demonic entities, and then, or parasitic entities, or just parasitic energy, that, feels like it's taking them down. And it wasn't like I'm going to write in my journal that these are the people that I want to help and I want to meditate. And I'm just like, it was just like a throwaway thought that I had. It was just like
Mhm.
I think I want to help more people like this. But then the universe is like, well, this is actually what these people look like if you really want to help. Okay, because it was like 2 days in a row, and I think it was like last week I had that thought, right? So feel like the universe is like, well, like this is like people was super fractured and just all of this. And she was literally saying like I can't, and she was like blocking and like I can't, it's just
Oh wow.
everything coming at me, like, and it was really quite sad, very sad,
Yeah.
to witness these two people in 2 consecutive days, that's
Mm,
the energy, and that's what that looks like to help people that are plagued by those kind of energies, and what does that look like? And I have just last week signed up to do a trauma-informed therapy course, a free one that's offered here. And so just the fact that, I signed up to do that, and I'm, aware of this stuff that's, happening in society and the world and,
for
at the moment
sure.
to do with things. And then, yeah, these two people coming in, it's like there's so much fractured aspects of people that yeah, so just the fact that I decided to do, I don't know what sparked to like look up. Oh, I know what it was. It was I, the oracle of Instagram Reels. This chick was saying this chick was saying that she like set herself up to how many times can I be rejected? Like how many times can I be rejected?
Mm,
And I think the course that I signed up for was for like a particular people in particular organizations, and I was like, oh, I probably won't, be able to do it for free or whatever. I might have to pay for it.
Right.
But so I was like, I'll just fill the form out anyway. And, like if I get rejected, it doesn't matter. And they were like, yeah, your submission has been approved. You don't, this is, you get to do this for free. And, so that's why I decided to do that.
That's freaking awesome.
So yeah, what was it? Yeah, challenging yourself to be rejected, not not to not to worry if she's rejected or not. So how many things that you sign up for, like properly, not just do it half ass because you're like, oh, I might get rejected anyway, but just like, applying for these things properly. But being like,
Mm.
oh, it'll be okay if I get rejected because this is kind of ridiculous that I'm signing up for this. And then like to feel into if you actually get it might be approved. Your submission for a business grant might be approved. You never know. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna look for more things like that I can sign up for to be rejected by, and then it may be approved. Yeah.
Yeah, shift of perspective. I was reading something the other day that really stuck out where it's like, it's basically like rewiring the mind or thought process instead of naturally focusing on the obstacles, but thinking of the opportunities, the
Mm,
possibilities,
mm, yeah.
like, yeah, maybe that would happen, or it might be one in a thousand. What are the chances it's me?
Yeah.
But possibly,
Yeah. Exactly.
possibly.
Might be. Yeah. It might be that way. Totally.
Yeah, that's really special too. Excuse me, that you have such a heart and a healing way of yourself to be mindful of others in that situation, that does bear witness to you stepping into your intuition and your care for others,
Mm,
to recognize that, yeah, it takes a special person, and I think this led passion, like every part of the journey, right? Every step in the journey has led us to where we're at now.
mm,
And as we step into our authentic self, I think naturally we're led to where we need to be or where we need to go so we
mm,
can continue to grow and share that with others. And
mm,
um, that's what's been at the forefront of my mind is how can I utilize, you know, um, where I'm at and share that in the community spaces and the community places, like this passion driven thing that I want to do or express or share, like given the opportunity, like we're given the opportunity because I know there's certain places I've been in dark places or struggling with anxiety or depression or fears or obstacles or self sabotage or all these things that I've worked through so I
mm,
can recognize it in other spaces and places and people that may be dealing with it so I can better assist and help somebody walk through that, right?
mm.
Um,
Totally.
because we know where we've been, and I think at this time too is like that passion driven courage to step into that,
Mm,
as we step into our authenticity to where we can offer our services and our spaces. It's like it's not even a thought anymore. It's that call to action.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And it's like feeling into that aligned action, not forced action when you feel that call to honor the timing of it,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's all about timing, like when the idea drops in to follow through, and I know we get a million ideas a minute sometimes. Like, I can't follow through with all of these. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But if something's like really like pulling at you as an idea or something you're really passionate about, yeah, it's like timing to like follow through with it, not like I'll do it later. And then when you do it in 2 weeks, like like the energetic alignment
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever was going on is there, like the spark and the momentum and the magic is lost. And maybe not, it might be in that perfect timing might be down the track, but it's like feeling into like what feels like aligned for that forward momentum for you, and yeah, that part of what came through with the Shadow Alchemy series that was like a really powerful aspect. And the Shadow Alchemy series is on a playlist on my YouTube here. So
On
it's
YouTube,
just like
right? Yeah.
it's like a free one that you can go through. One of the days, the main aspect was like I exist without like explanation, without needing to like explain myself. So many people go around being like, oh, I'm sorry, like they're always sorry, we're taking up space, or, it's like we're all feeling like we're not as important as other people, and we don't want to have that inflated ego where we're like self-important either. But it's like, how do we integrate it so that we can feel into like our aligned action, and we can feel that momentum and have like integrity with what we're wanting to create without feeling like we're gonna, you know yeah, walk all over other people, or someone else's, thing isn't as important as you, but you need to focus on what's your thing rather than like constantly helping other people, or constantly doing things for other people, you know
Right.
yeah, I mean that's people pleasing, but it's also self-abandonment, by doing that. So it's
Sure.
like, how can I integrate all of that? So I'm just, yeah, that aligned action that you're talking about can just come through and be natural, and
For
we're in the
sure.
flow, we're in the natural flow of life, where we're having a good time and things are flowing, and we've got expedited excitement, we've got courage, and it's all just like we've got momentum, right? It's like feeling into that momentum. But then I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, where did I write it? It was really powerful. I think it was the same thing that I was saying earlier, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the email to do with the Shadow Alchemy Codex. Yeah, it was saying exactly, I mean, pretty much the same thing that we're just talking about. Like, forward momentum is taking a nap. Like, like yeah, like forward momentum is also understanding when you need to rest. Like it's not about just like continuing to go, right? It's not just about keeping on going. The fire horse knows when it needs to stop and rest as well. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so it
Get a
can
drink
keep
of water.
yeah, so it can keep going. Yeah. It's not just all go, and it's the shedding of the snake and like that releasing, that final release is there's going to be other things that come up that need to be released. This is
Mm.
just a potent time to release things because the energetics are aligned. But the
Right.
energetics are aligned every month for this because we have the dark moon and we have the full moon, we have the new moon.
For
So
sure.
there's always like energetic aspects that are supporting us going inwards. Whether it's the
Mhm.
seasons or whether it's the wheel of the year with the seasons, or whether it's yeah, the cycles, the lunar cycles that are taking us in through those. So yeah, so it's honoring our cycles, definitely.
Yeah. Honoring ourselves,
Mm,
right?
mm,
I mean, if we're a part of it, from that little bit, star in that big sky and that big universe, we're all a part of it. It's,
mm,
like I was sharing, uh, connecting, reconnecting, connecting with yourself and staying connected, you
mm,
know?
mm,
Um, that has been a huge obstacle for me as far as knowing how important it is to take the time, allow myself the time to rest, and
mm,
to step into what I need to fill my cup, get the rest, you know, replenish my body, replenish my mind. Like It's like I know I can keep going and going and going, but at some point, yeah, the horse is going to get tired and be like, I need a rest.
Mm,
Or there might be a time where you got to reshoe. I've got a
mm,
friend that shoes horses,
mm,
and I'm like, it's such an important job. So the horse does feel comfortable in the shoes he's walking in. And
yeah.
you were sharing earlier about the shoes, and it's so funny because I've been clearing stuff out and clearing a lot of my camping stuff, and outside on my truck I've got a couple pairs of hiking boots that no longer are working for me, and it's like, those got to go away, and I was thinking life is too short for uncomfortable shoes,
Yeah, I love
yeah.
that. That is so good.
Yeah, it's too short for uncomfortable shoes. And literally it's like clearing space for what's gonna fit my foot now, in the path I'm walking now. And the choices we make to put one foot in front of the other on that path. And I think that's what's been the huge shift is really taking the time to realize, like, the experiences, the lessons learned, the walk along the way, but what may have fit me 2 years ago doesn't fit now. So I'm
Yeah,
going back in my closet. I'm
yeah.
clearing it out. I'm dusting stuff off, and
Mm,
not only just for the sake of, but taking the time to recognize it.
mm,
Taking the time to recognize why that doesn't fit, that doesn't serve, and in essence, taking me back to the mirror so I can be mindful of what I'm reflecting
mm,
and what I'm projecting into this time and space now.
mm,
What am I able to see from those instances so I can project into the space that I'm in, whether it's our calling, our services, and what we're doing in the community, and what we have to offer, and taking that expedited enthusiasm to step into it. you
mm,
know we, we've been led here, we've been given these understandings through and circumstances through learning and relearning, and you know um, going through it, growing through it, shedding, peeling back the multiple layers. I mean,
mm,
it's all been a part of what's led us here. And
mm,
personally, it's like, how could I not do it?
mm,
I feel like, how could I not? Like, it, not in a sense where it was all done in vain, but naturally it's led me here. And
yeah.
I feel that it's beyond a want. It's a duty. It's the natural course of things at this
Yes.
time. You
Yes.
know,
Totally. Yeah.
it's the natural course in this earth plane. It's a revolutionary time. It's that cycle coming back. Now I'm just that person on the front line.
Mm,
I'm just the one that it's okay, my
mm,
time to shine, to let your voice be known and heard, and to speak. I mean, this is all, it comes back around. And you know, and so if we are able to open our ears and hear the sound, then we might step into something that's so profound and mind blowing, and
mm,
to keep it glowing and keep it growing for many across the world. And where we're at, we all are a part of that universe. We all are a part of the grand universe, and um, I think it's beautiful. And I continue to celebrate you, and I continue to celebrate us, and whatever we're going through and whatever we're growing through, because it all is a part of it.
mm,
It
mm,
all is a part of it. And I think sometimes it may come off like it's easier said than done. I was talking with a girlfriend the other day, and she was just like, "Man, Soph, you're so optimistic. I love your energy. You're always so bright." And like, and I
mm.
had like two people tell me that during the day, and I'm like, "Well, shit."
Yeah.
I can let my light shine bright because I know where I've been. Do you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like I have been to the deep depths of hell, in the sense of I know where I've been, and I know that I don't want to be there. And because of those experiences, I can really just project forward, what we've shed through, and, you
Mm.
know, feeling comfortable in my skin. I
Yes.
was laying on the couch the other night, and I had my feet up, and I was like, man, I had my my honey bunny with me, and I was like, yeah, this feels so good. I'm gonna snuggle up with my little girl. I'm like, and this is needed right now, you know? And
Yeah.
I was just checking out my legs, and I was like, I feel pretty good in my skin, you know? Like
Mm,
I was just like, yeah, it was just a moment, you know, it was
yeah.
just a moment of like, you know, maybe I should like take the time to do this a little more often,
Mm,
you know, and just bring myself back down and in the sense of like, you know,
yeah.
um, connect, stay
I love that.
connected.
And it just was like happened naturally, right? Like the thought and the process just happened naturally rather than being like, oh, I need to be grateful for my body. Oh, what should I do? You know, there was none of that. It just was like a natural evolution of like
Oh, for
feeling
sure.
in the moment, right? And
Yeah,
that's where it's like the most potent, you know, that's what we're trying to get to when it's, you know, not necessarily like doing affirmations, but you know, if people are like doing affirmations to trying to get to that point, like
for sure.
they're the stepping stones, and then eventually you find yourself doing what you just did, and it's natural when you're like, I'm so grateful for my body, and it like everything clicks into place, and you're like, oh
It
my God,
felt
I'm
good.
yeah, like I'm here
And
doing
it didn't feel unnatural because you know
it.
sometimes you read the affirmations and you're like, I want to believe this, I want to feel it, but it just doesn't feel right. I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna sit here and like just essentially lie to myself and tell myself this until I believe it. But
Yeah,
it felt good in the sense of I was just laying there. I actually took a picture of my legs and I
yeah,
was like, yeah, I've
that's
got
so
like
cool.
tattoos and stuff. And I was like, that's pretty fucking sexy. I was like, I like the body I'm in, you know,
Yeah,
because in my mind I might be thinking, well, shit, you know, I'm going through this women's stuff. I've gained weight. I don't feel so great about myself. Like naturally that may be where my mind goes. But I was like, no, this is fucking sexy. Like I feel good, you
yeah,
know, like
sweet, good. It's
dude,
stoked.
yeah,
Yeah. I love that. And that's the natural
yeah,
evolution of like doing all of the internal processes and everything, you know, like the
yeah,
day that I had with gardening that I was talking about earlier. Was I talking about it when we were recording or before? I
yeah,
can't
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I don't know
the sore muscles and the
yeah.
hands and
Mm.
right.
Yeah, from doing all the gardening and but just the day in the garden was like so good with like my mum and then dad came home and the dynamic was amazing and then dinner the dynamic was amazing and then we watched the dynamic and every and I was like just feeling so grateful at the end of the day. I was like, whoa, that was a fucking amazing day. Like everything just flowed and, you know, we all just like bounced off each other beautifully and like the way people were engaging with each other. And oh, I just had so much gratitude for
Oh,
like,
it's so
even though
awesome.
my body was so sore, I was like, I'm dead. I was like, it was amazing.
Oh, that's so awesome. I can see genuine joy on your face talking about it too. That's freaking beautiful.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh.
it's like when you find yourself in that moment, like be in it for longer, right? Like marinate in it,
Ooh.
marinate
Ooh.
so you can like feel what it feels like so that you can then like radiate that when you want to anchor it. Like it's like anchoring in that. So you can like, yeah, marinate in it. I love that.
Ooh. I love that. I love that word. I have to say that. Yes, marinate. Let yourself sit in that juicy goodness sauce and let it just resonate, right? And
Yeah,
absorb
totally.
into. Yeah.
Like, oh no, I shouldn't be feeling like this because so and so is having a hard time, or you know, or like the state of the
Oh
world
my
or
gosh.
whatever. It's like, no, like you marinating in that and anchoring that and grounding that is what's going to stabilize everything around you. And if you have a stable
Oh my
energy
gosh.
field, then everything else will be, you know, more stable around you. And yeah, so no, stay in it. Stay in it for as long as you can.
Oh, that's so powerful, Nicola. And yeah, I may ask you, I mean, because we talk about and I've noticed too in the last couple weeks, like people that have been so frazzled. I ran into this at work the other day myself,
Mm,
and I was like, dude, you need to just like take a deep breath and like back off, like, and just like plug in because you're like all over the place. And I'm like, typically, I remember younger Sophia being that person, but it's like now I'm like stepping back and I'm like, dude, well, you're able to recognize it, right?
yeah, totally.
Um, so when I see like the state of affairs and what's going on, because I've struggled with this. So on this note, because I think it's a real thing that's going on right now,
Mm,
um, with everything that's going on, and now we realize it's just the cycle, 60 years and so many years of this revolutionary action and
mm,
wars and the Civil War and riots and all of that going on. It has been difficult to feel like I shouldn't be feeling so good about myself or
mm,
taking this time for myself because there's all this shit going on right now,
mm,
and
mm,
I
mm,
should be out there on the front lines and because that's been the struggle. And like I said, it has been an obstacle, but I'm going to tell you those moments of rest,
yeah.
how regenerated I felt, like, like my body needed it, my
Mm,
mind. So I can be better and I
yeah.
can be whole when I am out there, right?
Mm, mm, mm.
What good am I doing if I'm fucking all over the place and
Yeah.
frazzled up because I'm tired or sore or no
Mm,
sleep or, whatever I'm dealing with.
yeah.
And then
Overwhelmed.
I'm just adding to that energy out in the world,
Yeah,
right?
exactly, exactly, exactly. So being on the front line is being regulated and enjoying your life and not being fractured and not being you know, contorted into feeling helpless because of
Yeah.
everything that's happening. So if we're not contorted into feeling helpless, then that helpless energy, because the stuff that's happening is just like so just horrific,
Yeah.
that helpless energy can come in, and then what comes after helplessness, then apathy comes in, and then apathy and depression, and then we're just like more susceptible to everything. So then you're more susceptible to like manipulation and propaganda and da 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 and all these things,
Oh
and you're
yeah,
just
the
yeah.
paranoia, the
Yeah,
fears,
yeah,
all of
ching,
that,
ching, ching,
right?
then all of that comes online. So being on the front line is being like, yes, I'm grounded, I'm regulated, I know how to regulate my nervous system. Even though I'm reading all this fucked up shit and seeing all this fucked up shit, I can regulate myself. Kellyanne Maddox said an amazing thing, and she said, we don't need to hold in our nervous system the state of the world, and we don't need to process the pain of the world through our nervous systems. Like, that's not for us. So it's a matter of being so regulated and grounded that we can observe what's happening, but not processing it through to be, and that's not about being disassociated either. It's about um being discerning um and and protecting your shielding your energy so you can observe but not absorb, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Observe, observe but not absorb. Don't process it through your nervous system. Don't process all that pain through your nervous system. Like, hold it steady. Otherwise, you're just going to be another fractured person that's, that's feels helpless, And so then
Yeah.
it's not going to help anyone if you feel helpless, then everything's going to collapse around you. So yeah, nervous system regulation is more important than anything at the moment, and being grounded. No, and that's why that Aries energy is coming in now, and that Pisces energy is like shifting out with Neptune shifting and now Saturn shifting into Aries and out of Pisces, because we don't want to be spaced out up here in our minds anymore. We need to be grounded in our bodies to be like,
Oh.
I can see what's happening. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right,
Wow.
right. Because Pisces is like, and Pisces is deep emotion as well. So like, we're not going to actually process all of this deeply through my being and feel it all. No, I'm going to be grounded in my sovereignty and
Mm,
shield myself and have the warrior energy that's not a warrior that's out of control, but like a for like
for sure.
grounded warrior energy that's controlled, that has control and has integrity. It's not it's not the out of control warrior, it's the grounded integrity, and critical thinking, like having that critical thinking on board so we can understand what's happening around us and have conversations that are regulated around what's happening around us, rather than shutting things down or not having open conversations, and just understand where people are coming from when they're saying certain things or feel disassociated from, craziness or not knowing what's real
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah, or feeling overwhelmed, right? I mean, I've had those situations where or conversations with people where, it might be like they just need somebody to unleash or share it with. Or if you've met somebody you're dealing with a hard time, then you can relate to them because you're dealing with it too. And it's kind of like that misery loves company, right? In the sense,
Yeah.
right? So then you're feeding each other that
Mm.
in essence because it feels good and it's what
Mm.
you want to hear at that moment because it's comforting and it feels good. Well, it's like, no, like we're going to break you open
Mm.
now so you can like really release it. I'm going to bring light to the situation. And it's
Mm.
again that call and really stepping into the leadership role and taking the authority of knowing like, no, I've seen this before. I know what it looks like.
Yeah.
I'm not going to allow this to like, no,
Yeah.
you know,
No.
it, I'm going to take the authoritative role
Yeah.
and step in and say, no, actually, this is what it is.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, and it takes a courage to leap into that, right? Um,
Big time.
especially what's going on in this world. I
Mm.
think we need more of that. We need more of us powerful women and warriors to step up
Mm.
and step into, what we're here to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Huge.
mean, the time is now. We keep
Yes,
coming
it
back. The time is now. I mean, the stars have aligned.
is. Happening now. The shift is now. Exactly.
Oh, shit. I mean, I know I didn't trudge to the mud for nothing. If anything, I did maybe got sore muscles, but
Yes.
I've strengthened them along the way,
Yeah,
right? And
exactly.
each day's a gift and each day's an opportunity. And I want to thank you, Nicola, for what you're doing in the community. And for those of you that don't know, Nicola's got an awesome YouTube page where she has offered a lot of these guided meditations and services into the community. Oh my gosh, it's just amazing. You got to check it out.
Mm.
Plug in, get tuned in, and it has been such a blessing in my life to have you along as part of the journey and the ride. And I'm so thankful. I'm so
Mm.
thankful for your presence,
Mm.
and I'm so thankful for what you're doing for all the other women
Mm.
along the way.
Mm.
Um, it truly is beautiful to witness and to experience. So I thank you for that, Nicola. Most definitely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the Shadow Alchemy series is just so powerful. Like, I just want as many people to go through it as they can. And like that whole 7 days is there, for free in the YouTube playlist. And then if people want to go into the Shadow Alchemy Codex after that, like that's I can't remember how much it is, but it's like an extra off YouTube thing to like go into like another container of, yeah, going deeper into different layers. So
Deeper layers.
yeah, exactly. And
Mm.
yeah, so yeah, like having this space to communicate with you and having witchy talk to be able to like, develop all of these aspects out with you is like just part of the growth of like what I'm offering though, like witchy talk is like the place where we come together to like talk through so many things that, we've had aha moments and yeah,
Sure.
leveling up and having our own epiphanies along the way and realizations that, the conversation just shifts so much being able to do this with you and reflect. Yeah, through our witchy talks.
It's real life stuff. And I mean, and that's the thing, it's all been, it's just part of the experience, I think if you have the courage to step into it wherever you're at, like, I don't know everything. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, and that's a beautiful part of the journey that I love.
Yeah.
Is each day's a new opportunity to learn and to grow, and to have the opportunity to share with you and all of you out there watching and tuning in and supporting us along the way. um, you know Most definitely keeps the community growing.
Mm.
And I'm so thankful for that. I'm thankful for the opportunity. I'm thankful for every opportunity I've had in my life along the way at this point, and everything that has brought me here, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm thankful for all of it, and
Mm.
the beautiful thing is you can get yourself a nice bar of soap. This has been like self-love. This has been on my radar, dude. It's got some lavender in here and just lather it up, get all sudsy, clean it off, let it go down the drain, and be born new again, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
slough
it's
off
just
that dead
as,
skin.
yeah, it's just as simple as that, finding those moments in between to,
Mm.
take some time for yourself, whether it's a shower, for me, sudsing up,
Mm.
singing, opening the window, listening to
Mm.
the birds sing. The little things, right, are indeed the big things. And
Mm.
I think the key for me has just been showing up,
Mm.
you know, got to
Mm. Mm.
show up where you're at. And I will share a quote, if I may, which is one of my favorite. And he's come into my fold, maybe with a lot of the revolutionary stuff going on, perhaps. Hunter S. Thompson. And yeah, so new journalism, man, it was a thing he started. And this gentleman really addressed a lot of things, like things that were going on, drugs, Vietnam, a lot of the stuff that people didn't do at that time, asking the
Mm.
hard questions and facing
Yeah.
things that maybe were like, hey, we don't go there.
Gonzo, was it? Gonzo journalism? Did he call it Gonzo? Yeah. Is
Yeah,
that what he called it?
yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, I think so.
Gonzo, yeah.
Yeah.
So the movie, right?
Yeah.
Fear and Loathing, right?
Mm.
In Las Vegas. There's a quote that has always stuck out to me, and I thought that is bold and badass, right? So yeah, the whole thing, like his whole life. I mean, it's wild. Rest in peace, Hunter S. Um, there's no sympathy for the devil.
Mm.
Keep that in mind. Buy the ticket, take the ride, and occasionally, if it occasionally gets a little heavier than what you had in mind, well, maybe chalk it up to forced consciousness expansion.
Mm.
Tune in, freak out, get beaten. And that is just, so it reads on to say it's basically embracing life's madnesses, suggesting that, if you're choosing an intense path, you're going to accept the consequences. But in instance for me, it's like jump in, man.
Mm.
You bought the ticket. Here we are, man. Substation Earth. Freaking buckle up and take the ride, man.
Go for
Get
it.
on that horse, go for it, man. The
Yeah.
time is now. Each day is a gift. And it does get easier with time. Tuning in.
Mm.
I got a new puppy. I think I
Yay.
shared with you, and he's been
Yeah.
with me for about a month now. A
Mm.
month. And it's a new experience for me. I've never had a puppy this young. He's 8, coming on 8 months.
Mm.
And yeah, it's been quite the adventure. Um, we rescue senior dogs. I've had senior dogs, and so my oldest is 19. My honey's coming on 13. And so they're kind of just really chill. And then I get this spunky puppy energy that wants to be in everything, get in everything, and is just so curious. Um, and yeah, very demanding too. So it's been an
Mm.
interesting adventure for me, but I've noticed, and it's been so the whole thing is I've got them in these doggy training classes, right?
Mm.
So mom's got to suit up and take them in, and the class is like an hour, hour and a half. And it's like basic things, right? Like sit,
Yeah.
walk,
Yeah.
lay, like wait,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like, well, yeah, he's there for his training courses, but I am training along with him. And so
Mm.
it's just been a whole like reset and different perspective on things. And
Mm.
in the sense, we're talking about that tight grip earlier, right?
Mm.
It's like, when do you loosen the reins? Like, why do I feel I have to have such a tight grip on something? Like, do I feel like it's going to slip out of my hands if
Yeah.
I don't hold on tight? Do I feel like it's moving too fast and I might fall off? You
Mm.
know,
Mm.
but when you allow yourself to just let go a little bit, and then you naturally are moving with the motion of riding that horse, taking the ride, then you're like, oh, this feels good. It's not
Mm.
so hard on my ass. I was
Yeah.
holding on so tight that I was like kind of forced, and it didn't feel natural, but you learn to just let go a little bit. And so I've been walking the dog, and we're learning like leash behavior, right? And so I've got like kind of different notches on the leash where I'm like, I feel like I've got to like hold him real close and tight because I've got owls and coyotes and all this stuff around me. And it's like I notice when I've got him kind of like clenched right to me that he's like, he's kind of like struggling and not really for it. So I'm like, you know what? Just going to loosen up the reins a little bit.
Mm.
And I'm going to tell you what, Nicola, just watching him walk, like tonight, I took him for a walk before we jumped on, and just that little bit of adjustment,
Mm.
just unclenching the fist in the sense, just letting it loose a little bit. He was like, oh, this feels good. And I
Ah,
just, it made me so happy because
yeah.
I could see him walking so confidently. He
Mm.
was like kind of spunked up, and he's like, yes, I can just finally just prance and walk. And it was like, you know, we need to learn where to let go,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Yeah.
Where do we let go? Where do we hold on? And where's that in between space of where it feels right, it moves right, it's not forced,
Mm.
and it just flows, right? And it was interesting to see that, because literally I could see that shift in confidence in his movement just from mom letting go a little bit, and just
Mm.
trusting, just
Mm.
trusting the process that it's all going to
Trust
be
me, Mom.
okay. you know
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
And so, I've and with that too is a release, and the release of tension, and I think just understanding where we need to just loosen up a little bit in life.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. It's part of it, eh? Yeah.
Yeah,
Not be
most
so
definitely.
serious or yeah, not be so serious. Yeah, that's a good spot. A good point to wrap up on.
Yeah, have fun
A
with
good
it.
conclusion. Yeah.
Take time to smell the soap, lather up,
Love her.
cleanse the mind.
Have fun with it. Exactly. Exactly. Amazing. Oh, thank you for being here with me tonight, Sophia, for
Likewise, Nicola.
Witchy Talk. It's been a good witchy talk. That felt good. Definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
the stars are aligning, people.
Yeah.
So, all the way from the AZ.
Yeah, through to the NZ and everything in between. Yeah, we are crossing space, time, and dimension with our communication here across time zones, oceans. Yes, we are
Absolutely.
seasons. Without
Seasons
being
and
swapped.
reasons. Look, guys, man, seriously, if you haven't yet, plug in. Your support means the world to us. It helps us keep doing what we're doing and, continuing the growth and the love all
Mm,
the way from the AZ to the NZ and everything in between. If you know what I mean, get on, hit subscribe, ring the bell, check out all of Nicola's wonderful, juicy stuff she's got going in. Oftentimes, I find I've got to go back and revisit because it's so deep. It's so deep and it's so good, and it's good food. It's good food for the soul. And so,
mm,
thank you again, Nicola, for what you're doing in the community and wherever you're at, man, guys, you have the opportunity to take the front line, which
mm.
may involve getting some rest and feeling okay with that because it's just as important as you say, right?
Yeah,
It is progress, right? It
yeah.
is nourishment, and you know, taking those actions so we can take the front line and show up for each other and our
Mm,
time of need and um, continue to show the love and grow the love, and so much peace.
yeah.